Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Functional Spirituality Podcast. So today I am coming home from our silent meditation retreat. So I've got just a bit more of a lighter episode today, answering one of the questions that has come in on retreat. So the question says, what is your advice in dealing with pain or other distractions like a headache or a sore throat? So basically, what do we do when we have distractions in meditation? So the first thing I would suggest is there's a whole module on this in the Start Meditation course, which is about curiosity. So before you start your practice, there should be some sense of curiosity and availability to think, why am I sitting to meditate? How do I feel? Do I feel comfortable? Is there a way for me to be more comfortable? And you might realize that, okay, actually what I really need to do is just rest on my back. Actually what I need to do is I should be journaling. I've got so many thoughts in my head. Or actually what I need is to, have that cup of lemon and ginger and honey tea or whatever it is that might soothe the sore throat. Okay, actually I've got a headache. Maybe what I need is to have no lights on and I need to have something over my eyes or a dimmer light. I need to put on a candle and switch the lights off. So I really recommend this no matter what at the start of our meditation. Otherwise, it just becomes another activity that we're doing almost against ourselves. So instead of that, we're training a different mode of being where we're in touch and we're listening and we're connected to the different layers of ourselves. And this is not typically what is taught in meditation. Historically, it's been about bypassing the different layers in order to achieve some kind of peak state or metaphysical realization. But in our practice in functional spirituality, we're going through the body, through our person, meeting ourselves more fully. That is in alignment with our 3-part method and the intentions that we have. So starting with curiosity, is my practice right now that I'm trying to do relevant, or could I make it more relevant? If you're in a silent retreat, there is a schedule that you're following. There's a discipline component. There's a group component where you are, participating on the level of the group and complying with the schedule in order to get the benefits of having this retreat facilitated for you. But besides that, I wanted to share a little bit more about other distractions. So distractions, I usually categorize them in physical distractions or mental distractions. So these kinds of distractions, these are the reasons we don't meditate. These are like the little obstacles. If your body's not comfortable, that's the number one reason that you're going to stop your meditation practice or never start it or not have the motivation to it. And that's the same with the mental distractions as well. So it's a really important question, and it's something really important to address because this is such a big obstacle for us. Number one obstacle is these distractions that come up. So if you've got a physical distraction, something doesn't feel good in the body, my recommendation is to move. So to move your physical body or to stretch, and sometimes it's actually just moving the energy. So breathing in a different way or focusing and relaxing in a different way in the body. So, one answer to a physical distraction is to address it, and then the other one is to ignore it. So I would always do my best to address it and see if it's possible. And ignoring it is also an option. Sometimes just forgetting it's there, turning away from the distraction is also sometimes the most effective answer. And sometimes moving it is the best answer. And then what about if there's a mental distraction? So I've got 3 options when we've got a mental distraction. So one of them is to just write it down for later, because if it's important, then you should write it down. Otherwise, your mind is going to keep turning it over just so that you don't forget it. If it is unnecessary thinking, just a distraction of the mind that is basically unnecessary thought, then we just turn away from it and come back to our anchor. Or we might employ one of our concentration techniques. So either turn away from it or ignore it and concentrate on something else, write it down for later, or turn towards it. If you're feeling distracted by a mix of emotions and thoughts of something that is waiting to be processed, then turn towards it and apply the RAIN technique, apply curiosity, apply your allowing practice and your recognition practice, and basically what we call a healing practice, where this uncomfortable little storm or stirred up emotions and thoughts is meditation is the perfect opportunity to create a space to address what that is and to find a resolution. And this is, one of the reasons we do meditation is for healing and is for the resolving of unnecessary suffering. So if you've got these distracting thoughts coming up and it's actually something really relevant and important, it's not a distraction that's just unnecessary thinking. It's a distraction of something that's actually turning inside of you, then we need to lean towards that. And I wouldn't even call it a distraction. We recognize that the reason we feel distracted is because there's something there that needs to be looked at. Otherwise, if it's just like a great idea or something creative or just your to-do list, then to actually write it down and map it out so that part of your mind is getting sorted. And sometimes it's basically just about ignoring it and coming back to your meditation practice, which is about an anchor and some kind of focus that you have. So that is meditation, getting distracted and then pulling your mind back. So what do we do when we're feeling distracted? My advice is to give it some consideration. And really, this is the path of meditation, and this is the path of spirituality, and this is the path of our lives, is to get more graceful and more comfortable and more inspiring and enjoyable ways of navigating the different, opportunities that arise or distractions that arise. There's no simple recipe that you are going to respond with every difficult thought the exact same way. Every physical distraction the exact same way. We get better and better in different ways. But my advice is to first get curious, to break it down if it's something physical or if it's something mental, because sometimes we just confuse them all together. The thoughts are moving too fast, so the body feels uncomfortable, or the body feels uncomfortable, so the thoughts get uncomfortable. So find out, what are you actually uncomfortable with? See if you can resolve it. See what it's like to ignore it. If that doesn't work, then turn back towards it, maybe write it down, or actually move through it. Move your body or move through that difficulty that you are feeling. Thank you for tuning in to the Functional Spirituality Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe by pressing the plus button on iTunes or the following button on Spotify. This is going to ensure that this resource is available and top of mind when you most need it. So please subscribe now.